From the new recording lair located deep beneath the Wine and Spirit store in Ephrata, Pennsylvania.
You're listening to the Masonic Light Podcast.
Studio 665 presents Masonic Light Podcast. This show is recorded by Masons, for Masons, and is for entertainment purposes only. And please, no wagering.
This podcast is not endorsed by any Grand Lodge, and the ridiculous ramblings of the hosts are their own. And now, here's your host.
Hey, everybody. It is the Masonic Light Podcast.
I know those guys.
Hey, Larry, wake up.
I'm looking at the whiteboard seeing what show this is.
This is episode
Number
166.
And why is that?
What? 160.
Because it's one more than 165.
Exactly correct.
Oh, it's two more. You need
That,
two
my
more.
brothers, is arithmetic.
Talk about that.
Yeah,
two
no.
more for what?
For a very special episode.
Yes, and what? Why am I having to pull this out of you?
You're going to have to tune in to find out.
You have to tune in and find out why that's an important episode.
It's a very podcast Christmas. Oh, wait. Will that will be
It'll be the first show of the new year.
Oh, it will.
Yep. Oh. Which may include content that we get from the big event at the end of next month.
Oh. Are we going to collect content at that event?
We can talk about that. I think we could.
Okay.
Can you break away?
I mean, like I did at Lodge in the Woods,
okay.
maybe.
We'll see what happens.
I don't know. No,
anyway.
Then I'll have two grandmasters yelling at me.
This is episode number 166. And tonight, we have a full house again. This is great. I love it when we have a full house. All the usual guys here. And we have a returning guest, Brother Matt Rancosky from Good Sam Lodge number 336 in Gettysburg.
Yes, sir.
He was on about a month and a half ago talking about his upcoming run across the state in support of a couple of Masonic charities, namely the...
Why don't we let him tell us, Tim?
We will. I'm just going to mention it here because it's the beginning of the show.
I thought you were breaking into a Larry mode there.
Yeah, a couple of Masonic charities. And so he's going to talk about that tonight. And then we have a very special guest as well.
Ooh, I made him.
Yes, Jack's son. Parker Harley. I will probably call you Topper Harley at some point tonight.
That's not the worst I've heard.
I'm sure. Okay. I'm the one that always butchers guests' names. Larry does too, but anyway.
Not as much as you.
Not as much as me lately.
So for what it's worth, it's our Thanksgiving episode, and all of my kids are in town with their kids, and my house is full with love and happiness, and it's awesome. And Parker... we asked Parker to join us for tonight. So,
and then I can say, my kids are in town first time in about 5-6 years.
Larry.
Yeah. I never look at the damn mic.
167
so anyway,
episodes,
my daughter's
right?
in from New Hampshire, so we're going to have a big day tomorrow.
Cool.
Just thought I'd let you know.
That's great. It's good to know.
Love it when the kids show up.
All right, let's get this show moving.
Let's do this.
Larry,
What?
what have you been doing Masonically for the last couple of weeks?
Ghost and Gridiron. And again, on this coming Friday, since Thanksgiving is Thursday, we'll have Ghost and Gridiron, our 17th annual Black Friday Ghost and Gridiron. We usually have a big attendance for that.
That's on Friday?
On Friday, this coming Friday.
That's why they call it that, Tim.
Yeah.
Yep.
But
Black Friday, Goose and Gridiron.
Black Friday.
Yeah, Black Friday.
Usually it's Thursday.
I might actually be down there.
But
Tall Cedars meeting the following Tuesday.
Cool.
My
We'll
last.
wait, that's
We'll get
up.
to that. That's
That's
the end of-
upcoming.
That's at the end of the show.
Oh, is that the end of the show?
Yeah, we're all done. We can go
Talk about
now.
what you have done.
I went to Lodge.
Huzzah!
Yeah, I was at a Lodge meeting.
Wow.
It was fun. It was nice.
Nice.
Veterans Night.
That's good.
I
Excellent.
thought I talked about this before.
Yeah, that was last episode.
That was
That was the last episode, right? This is a repeat.
Ghost and Gridiron. That was it.
All right. Jack.
Since our last episode, I went to, not Masonically speaking, but I went to New York and saw Sweeney Todd on Broadway.
How was that?
Oh, my God. It was life-changing. I am not even joking. It is the best show I've ever seen. I saw it with the original cast, Josh Groban and Anna Lee. I forget her last name, but the two main characters, and their voices and their characters were so just spot on. It got goosebumps. It was amazing. Great show.
Cool.
Anyway, totally unmasonic. But then on this following Sunday, I went for a rehearsal of the Royal Arch. We were doing the Royal Arch degree, and the three guys that showed up for rehearsal are the three guys that already know it and didn't really need a rehearsal. Okay. So anyway, then let's see what happened. I went to, we had the Royal Arch meeting on Thursday. We had a first degree Tuesday this week, and it went really well. It was a really good, clean degree. It's surprising how important the guide work is. If the guide work is really crisp and solid, the degree just comes together better. And the young man, Andy, that did the guide work was just really spot on. It was excellent.
Very cool. So, awesome.
Jack is getting like Tim. Did you notice that? Elaborate. All kinds of... Never mind. That was an observation. Tim is rubbing off on Jack.
Hey, no, I don't.
I like it when the reports are short and concise, like mine. And
I went to Lodge, the end.
Yeah. I had food.
A man was born. He lived and died.
I had food. That's it. That's all I did.
Okay, next.
All right.
Far out.
Parker.
What have you done with
What have you been doing in life in general in the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, so these last couple of weeks, my wife's 30 some odd weeks pregnant right now. Third second kid.
Whoa, second one.
Yeah, so we've been doing some, I think the term that she's been using is nesting.
Ooh.
Been getting the house all ready, getting new baby stuff out, putting old baby stuff away. It's been quite a process.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
I remember those days. All right, Brother Matt, how about you?
Went to Lodge.
There you go, Larry.
Thank you.
Larry,
thank you very much. Well done. That's it. Well done. All right.
Seriously, anything else?
No, we've been pretty busy getting ready for the end of the year here. So it's been a chore there to get stuff done there. We had a thing with the district where we collected for the veterans for supplies, for like paper towels and all these different things for homeless veterans. So we had a big event with the district. It was arranged by Zaretha White Rose. They did all the legwork, and we just kind of went to the Dollar Trees and collected stuff. And
just ignore them.
Oh, no worries. As I said, that's about too much about that. And then just had a little, went for a little walk. They were raising money for charity, so
we
did that. So.
Excellent. Josh?
Podcast.
Attaboy.
There you go.
I just wanted to say, I was telling Jack, I have a Band-Aid on.
Larry is hemorrhaging.
Okay. Last night, I was putting a Pendaflex.
This is a really long story.
Pendaflex file back in the file cabinet.
This is more than I went to Lodge.
And I stabbed myself. It went down. Oh, it was unreal. Damn Pendaflex. Oh, anyway, never mind.
Keep
for the four people in the audience that know what a Pendaflex file
is. That's probably true. Yeah.
All right.
The lesson here is keep all sharp objects away from Larry.
What have you done, Tim?
So I'm going to focus on just three.
Do tell.
Three and only three.
Timmy's gone analog today, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's actual paper.
Actually.
That's my pad. I want that back.
So the Big Valley of Harrisburg held its fall reunion.
Huzzah.
Had a great time. Some great conferral of, 6 or 7 of those plays. I was telling Larry at dinner, I thought it's the most flawless production I've ever experienced there. The technical glitches were gone.
Well, good.
There was some stuff among the tech guys that we got to work behind the scenes, but nobody got to see that. The acting was outstanding. We were actually ahead of schedule most of the time, which is unheard of. It was an amazing reunion. It really was. So I was very, very proud of the Valley of Harrisburg for the work they did there. This past Monday, I went to Harrisburg Council number 7, our regular meeting. And then the one that Jack failed to mention was that last Sunday, he and I were both at Ubar Grotto.
That's true.
Where I was elected venereal prophet.
Well, I got cut short. I call it foul. I was going to say.
Who cut you short?
Well,
Larry. Mr. Sharp Object over here?
Bitching at me about running my mouth too long.
So I was elected venerable prophet at Ubar. I made eye contact. Venereal prophet. And so we're looking forward to good times going forward with Evo, El Duce, and then myself, and then Chris Gibson, and then myself.
Yes.
So good line.
I think Evo's going to do a great job.
I think Evo's going to be awesome.
A lot of faith. He told me some of the things. He told me one thing he's getting ready to do at Grotto, and I immediately texted our incoming worshipful master for next year and said, "We have to do this. This looks like a riot." So
okay, cool.
Anyway,
so one thing that came out of Ubar Grotto, though, is something that we should talk about. We're sitting there, and Larry does a Facebook post, and it's a picture of him at Stonehenge. I mean, literally the original Stonehenge.
All right, we're introducing something special here, guys.
Yeah.
Pay attention.
So Jack's like, "Oh, I cannot believe he just did this." Larry, this picture, and there's Facebook records of this now all over the place.
Oh yeah,
he's like, "You just subjected yourself to a flat Larry contest."
So I learned, because I'm like a Luddite with technology, as my son will attest. I finally broke down and got an iPhone, and with an iPhone, if there's a picture and you hold your finger on the screen on the picture, it'll isolate the principal element of that thing.
Right.
And I did that to Larry, and I isolated, and I got this clear picture of Larry, completely outlined, just independent, and I put it on a white field, and I said, "Yeah, and you were also in Antarctica." And then somebody else took the picture and put him at the moon landing. So we decided that we're going to start, Tim?
A contest, a
There
Flat
you go.
Larry contest. So any pictures that you have or any pictures that you take, we'd love to see him in how many different lodge rooms we can get him in across the world.
Lodge rooms, men's rooms, whatever.
Whatever. Some of the ones that we've seen so far, Jack mentioned the moon landing. He's been on the poster for a chorus line.
Oh, that was brilliant.
That was a stitch. He was on the 17th degree from the Northern Masonic Jurisdiction advertisement.
he was on the
Starship
he was on the command
Enterprise.
deck of the Enterprise.
He was on the Starship Enterprise this afternoon.
Thanks, Josh.
And then a whole bunch of other ones that just every time one comes across, we just crack up.
I definitely feel like you could turn this into like a Where's Waldo thing.
Oh,
Exactly.
absolutely.
I mean, there could be books, there could be everything.
You remember Flat
Like, where's Larry?
Flat Stanley from college. Yeah, from school. Yeah,
Yeah, so this is going to be Flat Larry.
Flat Larry.
And Tom LeBall.
If you want, you can post this up on our Facebook page.
Right.
That's our principal social media. So you can post it up on our Facebook page, or you can go to the UPS store or Staples or some such place and have a large format Larry printed on foam board.
What?
Okay, so
I'm literal stand-up Larry.
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe 2 feet, 3 feet tall, or a full size Larry that you can pose with.
That would be really cool.
That would be the
we
thing
need
to do.
that.
How tall are you, Larry?
5'10".
And
5'10"?
yeah, a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
I'm not 5'10".
5'9". I
I'm not
used to
5'9".
be 5'11" and a half, but I'm not anymore.
Anyway,
can
so
see
yeah,
that the way I walk over
so do this and send it around to lodges that you have friends at. Have them sign it, include a picture with them, and put it up on our Facebook page.
Put him in a pirate outfit.
And we're just gonna have our own Larry Merris all over over the world.
So you can post on our Facebook page, or you can send it via email to masoniclightpodcast@gmail.com.
What's the prize going to be?
Well, we haven't decided. We will acknowledge the prize winners and what those actually
just
are.
so you know, I'm not going to be part of that. I'm not taking part of that.
Oh, okay.
Well, you are taking part in it, whether you like it or
You're
not.
the star of the show.
Are you a grumpy past Larry?
As to the prizes, no.
Grumpy past Larry. All right. Well, we're going to take a quick break, and we will come back and talk to our two guests.
Why choose George J. Grove & Sons for your next home improvement project? At George J. Grove & Sons, we've built our reputation on quality and trust for more than 50 years. For planning to materials to installation, George J. Grove promises a home improvement experience second to none. Whether your goal is reducing energy costs, decreasing maintenance, updating curb appeal, or simply increasing the value of your home, the George J. Grove team will recommend and provide solutions that stand the test of time. Call 717-393-0859 for an estimate or visit us at georgejgrove.com.
And we're back. Tonight's guests are Brother Matt Rancosky, current worshipful master of Good Samaritan Lodge number 336.
For another month.
For another month. And Jack's son, Parker Harley. So I got that out that time. That's good.
You did it.
And so before we do a nosedive into this, we forgot one thing, and that is to thank the sponsors of our show, Scott Helm Electric, George J. Grove and Son, Hiram Solomon Cigars, Intermezzo by Stephanie, who has created a new flavor that we got to partake of at our last episode.
Yeah, she still
snap
tonight, though. Yeah, I didn't bring any tonight.
And so those are great. We love those. And we also are brought to you by our Patreon supporters, which we love dearly. They help us keep this great show going.
How can you become a supporter of the show on Patreon, Tim?
So for as little as $1 a month.
$1?
Just $1.
A month?
Just $1.
Why, that's just 3 cents a day, Tim.
Yeah, I mean, so little that you don't even notice it. You put your debit card or credit card in there.
3 stinking cents,
you
people.
Realize
Come on now.
It's going to take you more than $1's worth of effort to stop it.
That's it.
Right?
It's a micropayment.
Seriously.
It's genius.
For as little as $1. If you want to give us more, you can. We have a $5 and a $13 level.
Notice we have 3 levels.
We do.
See what we did there?
What we did there? Yeah. And we've actually got some new folks that have come on board as supporters, and we'll mention them next episode.
All right. Let's talk to our guests.
Do it.
Let's do this.
Do it.
Do it. What? Do it. All right. So, Matt.
Yes, sir.
We had you here a couple of weeks ago, and you were about to embark on a very cool adventure. Yes, how did it go?
It was pretty adventurous, for sure.
Remind them what you did.
I started in Connellsville, Pennsylvania, which is about 60 miles southwest of Pittsburgh, and walked from there to the Grand Lodge of Philadelphia, about 271 miles of walking in 10 days.
Awesome. Wow.
So...
And any like cool experiences or things or
definitely it was a good experience to starting off first. You have all these high hopes. You're like whistling and doing like that, and then about 15 miles in, you're like, oh,
this is how long?
This is like it was one of those that you realize that you're walking now, and you got to make your marks every single day, and you got to hit them and. Because as I said, you have 10 days to do it in. So I definitely, I hit. That was one of the goals that I achieved. There was hitting my marks, no matter how late it was. Sometimes I would get into the hotels around midnight. Oof. Sometimes I would get in around 10 o'clock. But a lot of dark walking, and I did not expect that. Yeah. And the mountains were definitely a lot challenging than what I expected.
Really,
you can do a lot more. You can do all the stair climbing you want, but it was definitely challenging, more challenging than a stair climber in Planet Fitness.
And you actually started this one. I mean, Connellsville is out there. It's in the mountains, right? I mean, so you started out in the mountains. You didn't ease into it.
It started at the base of the mountain.
Yeah.
At the lodge is at the base of the mountain, Masonic Center there, and I started at the base of the mountain and went up the back roads to like near Seven Springs, and that way I got on the 30 there and got up in like 7-Eleven up that way, towards that way, and up into Somerset, PA was my first place I stopped at. And I got up there pretty late. Even the Airbnb guy called me. They were really super nice. Everybody was just amazing during the whole journey. Checking in on me, asking me how things were going. And my first guy, Airbnb guy, called me a few times, and turns out he was a avid hiker and wrote books about it and stuff. So those were kind of the cool things. I got to meet a lot of great people over the time that I spent walking and stuff, and did a lot of things there. So it was definitely cool experience to get that, and a lot of sombering moments with the different sites and different things and stuff you go through, and had a good, when we got up into Shanksville and stuff, that was definitely a very real moment when you get up into Shanksville and you see stuff, and you talk to some of the people. And
did you go past the memorial?
I didn't go past the memorial, but I did go past the church, and I took some pictures there and talked to some people and told people what I was doing and stuff, and they thought it was really cool.
That's neat. So, now, there were two things. First of all, the lodge you started at was significant.
Yes, sir. It was the current Grand Master here for Jeffrey Wonderling. It was his home lodge, and I actually got to stay with him the night before, and him and his wife took me out to dinner, and so it was kind of cool to actually get like that one-on-one time with him, and realize, you look, everybody sees him as the Grand Master, but you get to see him in the street clothes, and as a person, you realize we're all people, no matter what our title has behind it. So it's kind of cool.
And there was something else significant going on just before you started in the state of Pennsylvania. I think there was like an escaped convict on the loose.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was that was about a week and a half prior to that.
Really good timing there.
So
perfect timing.
Yeah, I definitely was a little nervous with that. I was glad they caught him. It was like a week before I left, they ended up catching him, because I was thinking to myself, oh, man, if I get up into these country roads and I get Edna sitting on the front porch and sees me going back, and I don't look like a stranger face. But
she takes you out and goes, I got him.
Yeah, I got him. It's definitely one of those things where, I was a little nervous about it, but no, it turned out to be really good. Everybody was really nice, and I didn't have too much problems with traffic and stuff. Everybody kind of swerved over as they seen me and stuff. So I was pretty visible too. I had a big neon shirt on with so you could see me with reflective things. So that was kind of cool.
So did you catch up with other Masons along the way? I know I saw on your Facebook there were a couple guys that came out. And
I got to meet some guys there. It was kind of weird because when I first started off, I kind of went up into Somerset, and it was didn't really talk to too many people from Somerset. And then when I went to Somerset to Bedford, and didn't see anybody really there too. But then as I kind of went out, then I went from Bedford to Breezewood. I actually I walked through Everett.
Oh my God! I hate making this drive that you're talking about. I mean, and you walked it. Jeez,
as I was along 30 there, I stopped at Everett because I was wanting to get off the main highway because the noise was starting to become deafening. So I was like, maybe I just get through the city and just go down through Everett. And as I walk, I'm like, oh, there's a big Masonic lodge there. So I walked past it and seen a Worshipful Master's number on the thing. So I gave him my fraternal greetings, called him up, and I said, hey, I'm walking through here. I was walking through your lodge. I'm doing a charity walk. Nice to talk to you. Sometime give me a holler back. So it was probably 20 minutes to an hour later, I get a phone call from him. And we start chatting and stuff. And I told him, I said, is there any possible way anybody in McConnellsburg? Because once I get to Breezewood, I'm like, I was like, man, that's a big mountain coming up from Breezewood to McConnellsburg. And I was like, my pack is starting to get pretty heavy. And I didn't realize that, too. Even though I packed pretty light, it was a lot of weight on my back. And that was really starting to kill me. And he goes, oh, yeah, I got you. So Brother Snyder lives
Bobby
up.
Snyder.
Bobby Snyder lives up there. And what's funny is I was actually supposed to have him talk at my lodge this year.
Oh, really?
And we had some things with where our hall association needed the time, so I had to cancel out him, and I felt really bad. But come to find out here, he lives in McConnellsburg, and the gentleman knows everybody. Everywhere we went in McConnellsburg, but him and his wife were very, very gracious. He said, no problem, I'll be down, I'll pick your pack up. So that was in Breezewood. Picks my pack up, takes it up to my Airbnb up there, and I was packless there.
Oh man!
And then I was like, man, that was
huge.
That was a huge like morale booster, where I didn't have that pack, and I'm just like chugging along, and it was really cool. And I got up there at a half decent hour, and that was a short, actually 22 miles. That was actually a short walk for that day.
Short walk.
Because I was averaging 26 to 30 miles a day.
Wow.
And so 22 miles was actually a short walk that day. So I got up there to McCallsburg, and here, Brother Snyder knew the guy where I was doing the Airbnb at. So he gave me a ride out to the Airbnb. You know, they took me out to dinner, just really, ran me over to Sheets, grabbed some stuff there for the day, and I was off. And here, come to find out, the gentleman I stayed with and these are like the cool experiences I got to experience through the way.
That's great.
I got to meet a gentleman who he actually was supposed to run a 100-mile marathon, those ultra marathons, and it got canceled during COVID. So he actually still did a DIY one and did it with himself and his family, and he ended up doing a thing. And it was just really brought a lot of emotion over me with it, because here this guy didn't have to. There was no big checkered flags at the end of the finish line, no big giant medals, and when he finished it, it was him and his family. And he sent me the video on YouTube, which was like amazing. And as I'm walking, I'm watching it on my phone, and I'm just brought to tears, because it was just like I'm emotional already from just the tiredness and everything else. And I'm watching this and just seeing how, and it was just like, yeah, I can do this. And I kept going and going, and every day it was just getting up at the end of getting to my hotel late, and then getting back up at 7 o'clock in the morning, and putting the boots back on and just trucking along. And then, once I get out to this area, it was really nice, because I got to meet. Once I get out to like Chambersburg area, which I had another brun, he helped me and he hauled my pack. And then it was just they were playing past my pack the rest of the way, all the way.
Oh, that's great!
That's great. All the way into. Then once I got on the other side of Gettysburg, I was packless, because I would just go home and then drive up, and then somebody would take me back to my car, and then once I got into my district, it was like everybody was helpful, and everybody was really just generous.
I like that better than if you had carried it yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because that just says the fraternity.
It does, totally does.
That's what it is.
And that's one thing I could say. When I talk about this story, and I'm going to turn it into a Masonic program, and I've already had 3 worshipful masters approach me to talk about it this year, and I'm going to do like a picture thing and stuff as well. But the guys just dropped everything. Guys would just drop everything to come help me. That's what really just amazed me about this whole situation, and really just brought Freemasonry in perspective, was just like showing that I'll drop anything that I need to do and come help you right now. Yep. And it was like any phone call I made, and then once you get out to like that area and stuff, and then I had another brother, he was a professional photographer. And once I got out to like near Westchester, he came out and took some pictures. And at first I thought he was with the newspaper, and I got like my chest puffed out. I'm like, oh yeah. And here, come to find out, he's just a professional photographer who just wanted to come out and take pictures. And he walked with me probably about 5 or 6 miles, and we talked. And he told me his story, and and he's like, man, this just inspired me to come out and walk with you. And I just I was sitting at home, and I didn't know if I was going to do it or not. And then when I realized that, I'm like, holy cow, now I'm starting to inspire people. I mean, it's like, and then it just like,
what?
Yeah, and you just get out to, and then once I got out to Philly, it was funny, because the one biggest funny was when I got towards Philly, and I was walking that last leg, which was a pretty rough leg from Westchester to Philly, was because the roads get really narrow. And
it's busy. It's very
busy.
Very dense.
And I was a little bit nervous there, and then I got into a little bit of a bad section down by Drexel University.
Why, yes, you did.
Yeah, and I was right outside of Drexel University, and
it's a lovely place.
Yes, it's a lovely place, and I think they thought, I don't know if they were more scared of me than I was them, because they just were wondering why I was there,
Yeah.
And and I had like just this stern look on my face, and I kept walking. One, because I was exhausted.
Right.
But two, it was just like I was like minding my business, just walk. You just walk through the city. And I thought they said, we ain't gonna mess with this goofy guy. He's walking through the city doing this. He's like, he got to be crazy.
Chances are he's carrying anyway.
Yeah,
so
he's like, which got through that, and then I got down by Philly, and it was kind of cool when we got to the Grand Lodge, and everybody was like, it was like being a celebrity. Even my family and my
you were.
Yeah,
you absolutely were.
Yeah, I had my wife and 2 kids come down there, and they were standing outside. My wife had a sign, and and she and we got to the lodge, and it said closed, and the kids were like, oh, yeah, perfect. Yeah, it was funny. They were like, it was funny that we got to the lodge and they said closed, and she's like, and the kids are going, oh, I don't know if we're supposed to be here. I'm like, don't worry, I know people. It's okay. It's like they're expecting. And as soon as I walked in, they all like, oh, Mr. Rancosky, la la la. And they just thought it was like the kids thought that was cool, that like everybody knew who I was, and it was like I was like a celebrity, and and they were waiting for me, and then they told my wife to park right outside in front of the lodge. Mike, who is the curator down there, he was just amazing and gave us a short little tour, but he's like, come back when your legs aren't feeling so rough, and you
climb up that tower.
Yeah, and that's what he said. He's like, I want to give you a better tour when you guys come back. So we were going to arrange a tour with them. But overall, it was just an amazing experience to see some of the sights. I've seen some of the beautiful sunsets and sunrises, and and one of the things that I tell everybody it was really sombering was when not just walking through Shanksville, but you don't realize when you're walking across the road and you see these crosses and you see like where people got killed in car accidents. And you don't really pay much attention to that, but like passing those, you start reading. I was reading that some of these guys are like young kids, and it was just like, wow. It's like, these people lost their lives here where I'm walking right now, and that was kind of like a little bit of an eerie feeling. You just like see all those signs and stuff, but other than that, it was just an amazing trip overall, and just like a cool experience. I definitely, everybody asked me like, when you doing it again? And I'm like, I don't know. I don't
already check that off the list.
Pass the torch.
I don't think I'd ever do it alone. I mean, I wouldn't say I would not open it up to somebody who wanted to go and kind of get that like life-changing experience. Yeah. I would take them and go with them, but I don't think I'd ever do it alone, because alone was rough. I mean, it was definitely. I'm not a good person who does being alone very well, and
a mental headspace? Or
it was just a little bit of rough going.
Was that the hardest part, just being alone out there?
Yeah, it was definitely. I mean, I listen to a lot of. I listen to a lot of podcasts. I listen to a lot of Masonic Light podcasts, and I did actually listen to a few of your guys' podcasts there, and I listened. But by the time I got done,
fall asleep.
Right.
But by the time I got done, I mean, I could. I knew how to manage my money and had more inspirational quotes than most people have in a long time. So for sure, it was kind of cool. But.
Well,
very cool.
That's awesome. Congratulations. You raised a bunch of money. Any
right now
word on how much?
We're about a little bit over $2,500 that I got to raise there,
cool.
and it's still actually open right now because I'm going to leave it open to our stated meeting in December. Okay. So the website's still open to donate.
So how would somebody donate if they wanted to?
It's www.gettysburgfreemasons.org, and just click on events. And you can see Walk My State. So if people still want to donate, I'm going to leave it open until the middle of December. And we're going to close it to total the amount. And we're going to present a check to the Grand Lodge probably at the December 27th initiation there.
I'll see you there.
Yeah, yes, I will. I definitely will be there. I kind of don't have an excuse living less than 3 miles away from it. So I live right there in Willow Street. So the hotel that they're hosting at is it's in walking distance. So I could walk if I really wanted to.
That would be a way to show up.
Your walk is that walk, not my walk. But that's
all right. So we're going to take a quick break and go check on Larry because he disappeared and we just heard a thud. So we're going to go check on Larry, and then we're going to come back and have a few more moments with Matt.
All right.
As far back as the mid-1800s, records exist describing the pre-meeting tradition of brethren smoking cigars during and after gatherings.
To this day, the practice of smoking cigars remains very much alive in many lodges. This custom is considered a time for brethren to relax, exchange ideas, and enjoy the simplicity and fellowship that is the very essence of our brotherhood. This is what Hiram Solomon Cigars is all about. Our starting principles are to bring Masonic brethren together in the harmony of a good cigar. Pull up a chair, sit back, light up any of our premium cigars, and enjoy the history. Hiram Solomon Cigars can be found at fine cigar retailers. For a complete list, visit HiramSolomonCigars.com or check them out on social media to find out when they'll be at a live event near you. Hiram Solomon Cigars is pleased to be the official cigar of the Masonic Light Podcast.
And we're back. And we have, again, Matt, who just finished a giant walk across the state of Pennsylvania as a fundraiser for various charities. And my son, Parker, who has been over here in the chair going, "Ooh, wait, can I ask a question?" So absolutely you can ask a question.
Do it.
Do it.
Yeah.
Do it.
So 200 some odd miles. What did training look like for that, if anything?
I mean,
was that just wake up and, I'm going to do this today. Let's get started.
Bad plan. Bad plan. Just going to say.
Yeah, well, that's why I kind of, excuse me, I started into like that, and my wife was getting kind of worried because I wasn't doing a lot of the training and wasn't doing a lot of the walking and
getting up at 6 cracking eggs.
Yeah, I wasn't, I wasn't doing any of that.
Training montage.
Right.
I was just kind of living north, and it was like, she's like, "Oh, you're going to be doing this in like 3 weeks." She's like, when you think about maybe doing something, and I'm like, I better start. So I would go to the gym, but in all honesty, but with me losing 100 pounds and stuff as well, and doing that stuff as well.
Congratulations to that.
I was doing training, as much as she didn't think I was doing training, but I have a very physical job, and when I would do it, I did at the Planet Fitness. I was working out and stuff and doing the stair climbers and the treadmills and stuff, but it's a whole different ball game. You can't prepare for it. I don't care how much walking you do, how much anything like that. It's a whole different ball game when you actually get into the mountains. And that's what I would tell people when they'd ask me about like the training and how like everything would go. You can't prepare for it.
Yeah.
There's no training. There's no not. It's just you get up and you do it, and then just to get up every morning, you just know what you're doing it for. So. No matter, and I actually out of all the walk and stuff like that, I end up getting 2 blisters out of everything.
That's good shoes.
Yeah,
That's good shoes.
And actually, what was really funny about that is when we got out to the Grand Lodge, and there was another lodge having their a lodge meeting out there, and the guy comes up to me, he says, "Hey," he says, "did you wear those shoes the whole time? They were Columbia ones." And I said, "Yeah," and he says, "You should
Shout
write
out to Columbia.
Yeah, he said you should write to Columbia and just tell them your story and stuff. So I did. And it was like I just did it like on a Tuesday evening, and
name, image, likeness.
And then I got an email right back, and I was like, wait a minute, I was like, this is cool. So she told me that she loved the story, and she was going to send me a care package and everything. So it was kind of cool that I got to talk. I was like, definitely get a little bit of shine there from Columbia. So cool. But they were definitely good shoes, and I had not too many issues with my feet, which everybody thought I was going to, and I didn't really have
just
too
that
many.
Kind of pounding. I mean, you would think you'd go through a couple of pages of shoes.
It was all pavement. It was all road. I was mostly along 30 and stuff. So the shin splints started they were hurting and stuff, and I did definitely, until I got out here, and my wife, she gave me these compression socks. And that was a lifesaver. Okay. Because once I started putting the compression socks on, those all went away, and it made life a lot easier, which, as I said, there's no way to prepare for it. When you walk 30 miles a day, close to 30 miles a day, you don't know what you're going to occur and what's going to happen. So I definitely learned a lot of lessons. So if I ever did want to do it again, which I was just saying during the break that I wouldn't do it alone. I would definitely do it again with somebody who wanted it. And I have had already people approach me and say, when you going to do it again? And I was like, I don't know, not too soon.
Make it the Masonic Marathon.
Yeah. So it was kind of cool, though.
That's great.
That's fantastic.
In the 10 days, what were your mile markers? Were you trying to take your total and divide that by 10, and that was what you wanted to hit?
At first, that's what I did.
Okay.
I did that 20, but then you got the realization of where your staying points are and your Airbnbs and where you're going to stay. So sometimes they would be at 26.5 miles. Sometimes they'd be at 28 miles. Sometimes they'd be at 32 miles.
Okay.
So depending on where I was staying, because there's not a lot of places to stay between Connellsville and
there's a lot of nothing.
There's a lot of nothing.
Yeah, so it was fun. To find lodging was really hard, but I managed to find. As I said, I found a motel in Breezewood and an Airbnb in McCallsburg, and then once I got into Gettysburg, I had a brother who reached out, and him and his wife let me stay with them and stuff, which was really cool. Brother Birdwell, David Birdwell was his name. He's actually one of our trustees. He was just so warming. Him and his wife were just so welcoming to, and they and as I said previous, that once people started, once I got out to like the Gettysburg area, it was like being at my house now, because there was a lot of people that would just reach out and help me right away, and without a drop of a hat, and just take me anywhere or pick me up something, or they'd call me and they'd say, "Hey, do you need something? I'll bring you out something." I had brothers bring me out, water, or, because it was still a little warm during those times, But I had great weather all the way into Lancaster. I only had one day of rain, which my wife, she came out and brought me dry clothes the one day. So
that's great.
So outside, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just commenting on the dry, on the amount of dry days.
That's amazing, and actually you had amazing weather.
It was beautiful. Beautiful, like as I said before, beautiful sunsets, beautiful sunrises. Got to see a lot of cool sights. Took a lot of great pictures, and then when my wife, I talk about her a lot because she was a big supporter in all this and just a big help during all this and everything. She was very patient with me, taking care of things at home and while I was gone, and she definitely was the one who deserves all the credit.
There's a famous person once said, "Behind every great man, there's a woman rolling her eyes."
Yeah.
So
exactly,
it's important to have that in your life.
Outside of the Grandmaster or another brother who had you stay at his home, what was your best accommodation situation?
I mean, that was kind of like, I think the one in McCallsburg was actually, it was just a little trailer out in the middle of nowhere, but it was just
an Airbnb that was a trailer.
It was an Airbnb that was a trailer.
Perfect.
And it was
welcome to Pennsylvania.
Yeah. And that was really cool. I mean, the Airbnb in Somerset was really nice, and the guy was very welcoming, because once I got up there around 10 or 11 o'clock, they had I read in the Airbnb description they had a hot tub. So the whole time I looked forward to that, and I got up there around 10:30, 11 o'clock, and he's like, he's like, "Normally I don't go this late," and I was like, "Sir, please just let me use your hot tub for like 15 minutes." Or 20 minutes. And he's like, "Oh, okay, I'll show you," But he did let me go out and use it, and I made sure I put everything back the way it was, and so he was very helpful with that for sure, because that's what I looked forward to all day, was just like,
because you have that as a target in the distance.
You do, definitely.
That's that carrot way out there.
Yeah, it is. It was definitely those carrots, but everybody was awesome during the whole process, and got to talk to different people, and just I did hit those marks every day. Like I would pick what I had to be, and no matter if it was, as I said, 9 o'clock or 12 o'clock, I was walking at night, and I had a headlamp on, and sometimes it died. It was it.
So, which night did you think you might, and you might not understand this reference, you might not be old enough, which night did you think you might be in an episode of an Alfred Hitchcock movie?
Oh, I know who Alfred Hitchcock is. I mean, I'm not that young, guys, Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah, no, I'd say, honestly, the leg between Bedford and Breezewood was definitely creepy. As I said, I came down. I come down off the mountain, and there's a buffalo farm out there, and I'm walking with my headlight, and I look to the left, and all I see these glowing green eyes. And I thought to myself, "Whoa!" And then you walk by a cemetery, and you just start. When you're out there by yourself a very long time, you start hearing things, you start seeing things, you don't know what's going on. I think that's when walking turned into running at one point. So, you
start up the pace a little bit.
And that's what it was too. I got to the point where there was a lot of times where you get bored. So I was like, well, let's try running for a little bit. And, everybody's like, you what? And they would look at me like when I tell them that story about running, they would laugh at me and go, you ran? And I'm like, yeah, I ran a few miles here, ran a few miles there, and on top of stuff. So it was funny.
Yeah, fit people.
Well, in wrapping up our conversation with you, Matt, I think Jack has something he wants to say.
As you probably know, one of our founders, our founder, Pete Ruggieri, passed away early this year. And we decided to establish, in his memory, a commemoration. Mm-hmm. And it is the Peter J. Ruggieri Community Service Award.
Oh, wow.
Okay. And this is, we've outlined some parameters within our small group here. And you've blown this out of the park, all right? Everything about what you've done, it's been for civic purposes, it's been for charity, it's been Masonic, it's been, just a terrifically positive vibe to the whole thing. And we congratulate you for that. But what we say, this coin, and regular listeners have heard about this, but it's Pete was very involved in animals. So he was a Doberman foster, and he raised money through the Santa Stumble for the Lancaster Mounted Patrol of the police department, and he was just a fun guy, right? So the slogan is "Have fun, do good," and we feel like you've done that. To the point that we're breaking our own rules and regulations about how to award this. You need this. You deserve this.
Well, thank you.
Congratulations.
I really appreciate that. Yeah. No, that's awesome. No, thank you. I truly, I can't thank you guys, everybody enough. Just all the love and support, Masonic, non-Masonic, and it was just you guys was a big factor with the show and stuff, having me on prior to it. It made such a boost. People, I still have people ask me and talk to me about it, like, oh yeah, I heard you on the Masonic Light podcast. So, and that's what I'm really excited to come back. I was so excited to come back here. That's why I was feeling a little under the weather, and my wife asked me, she says, are you still going? I was like, no, there's no way I'm messing. They might not let me on, but I might.
Can you wait outside, please?
But we can maybe have a remote. But no, you guys have been just amazing with this whole process and everything, and just helping get the word out, and just meeting so many different people. And I feel like that's what one of the things I got to talk to the Grand Master about was have a really good personal conversation with him, and and he says, you want to be successful in this organization, he says, don't talk about nothing, just do. And I just took that to really heart, and that's what I feel like he's like, don't worry, people know who you are. They know your name. They've heard of you. They've seen things you're doing right now, and he's like, just keep up the great work you're doing. And he says, you're gonna go far in the fraternity. He says, just keep being you. And I was like, well, thank you, I appreciate that. And
that's great.
And that was like a cool thing, a cool experience, I think too as well. So
very good,
awesome.
But thank you so much.
Well, congratulations once again, and I think let's take another quick break, and then we'll come back with Parker Harley.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Hello, brethren. Dutchy Doug is back with an update from my lodge, the Broken Claw number 377. Well, it's November, and it's time to start thinking about our tables being loaded full of turkey, gravy, potato filling, dried corn, bread, butter, cranberries, and delicious spiked pumpkin pie. Well, at least that's how us Pennsylvania Dutch do Thanksgiving around our parts. I have a story to share with all of you, my brethren. Last week, 2 city slickers from Philadelphia came up to our little valley to purchase 2 pigs from one of our brethren, Brother Solly Syflage. Solly raises the best pigs in our valley and was well known for his delicious sausage, hams, and summer bologna. His bacon ain't too bad either. These 2 Hiwahawas had decided to cut out the middleman and buy pigs directly from Solly and drive them back to the city, and I guess butcher them themselves. I have no idea what the heck they were thinking. When they arrived at Solly's farm, they had cash, and lots of it. So who was Solly to argue? They paid top dollar for 2 of his hogs and loaded them up in the back of their decked-out pickup truck. You know, the kind that never gets dirty. And down the road they went back to Philadelphia. While driving, the one guy asked the other one, "Hey, whose pig is whose?" "Hey, that's a good question," the other guy said. "Quick, pull over. I have an idea." They pulled over, and the one guy jumped out of the truck and took out his pocket knife and nicked just the tip of the one pig's ear off. He jumped back in the truck and said, "I'll take the one with the nicked ear." And down the road they drove. No 2 minutes had passed when the two pigs in the truck bed started to fight. You know, pigs do that, you know. And wouldn't you believe it, the pig with the nicked ear bit the tip off of the other pig's ear. "Now what are we going to do?" the one guy said. Quick, pull over. I have another idea." And they did, and he jumped out and took out his pocket knife and nicked the tip of the tail off of the one pig and jumped back in. "I'll take the one with the nicked tail, you take the other one," he said. And down the road they went again. No 2 minutes later, the pigs started fighting again, and wouldn't you believe it, the pig with the nicked tail bit the tip of the tail off of the other one. "Now what are we going to do?" the one guy said. "Well, let's keep driving," the other guy said. "I'll think of something." After about 15 minutes down the road, the guy turned and said, "I got it. You take the black one, and I'll take the white one." Now, you might laugh about that story, and yes, it is funny. It goes to show you how dumb some city people can be. But it can also teach us Masons a lesson. Always look at the big picture. Don't get lost in the details. All too often, we as brethren and lodges get lost in the weeds instead of just stepping back and looking at the whole picture that is before us. How many times has your lodge argued about an issue that for some brethren has an easy answer to see? The next time your members are arguing over an issue, think of the white and black pigs. Heck, tell your brethren the whole joke, and maybe they will step back and see the forest for the trees. And now before I go, allow me to wish all of you, my brethren, a blessed Thanksgiving in my dear Pennsylvania Dutch language. Ich wünsch all my Brüder ein gesegnetes und herrliches Danksfest. Till next time, work hard, stay plumb, and out in the lights when you leave the room. To learn more about the Pennsylvania Dutch language, culture, and history, please visit my website, padutch101.com, or my YouTube channel. Just search for Doug Maidenford.
And we're back.
Do it.
All right. Actually, I'm not going to do this. I'm going to pass this off. Let's.
I
Larry,
think it'd be cool.
No.
I think it's cool for you to do this.
Au contraire. Au contraire. I'm going to pass this to Larry because Larry is completely unaware of any questions to ask Parker about or how to start a conversation.
Let's see how well Larry can do this.
So I want to make Larry as uncomfortable as I can doing this interview with my son, and I'll just watch. His name's Parker.
Good luck, Larry.
Not Topper.
And we're back. And I had the pleasure of talking to across the table Parker Harley, who was the better part of Jack, by the way, just so you know. And welcome, and tell us a little bit about yourself. I know you were DeMolay at one time, so just tell us, not what you told us earlier, though.
That's fair.
No, actually, he should.
No,
okay, whatever. You're free to do whatever.
By the way, Larry, that was the best introduction of a guest you've ever done.
Come on. Give me a break.
It was concise.
Yeah, no, so hi guys, everybody listening. My name's Parker. Like they said, Jack's son here. I live right now in Westchester, Pennsylvania, not too far away with my wife. We have a almost 2-year-old now. His name is Palmer.
He's amazing.
We were a big fan of iced tea lemonades. It's where we got the name from. And yeah, we have another one on the way. He'll be popping up around January. We decided really to mess with my mom, naming everybody with a P. So my name's Parker, my wife's name is Paige, our dog's name is Piper, our son's name is Palmer, and our newborn's name soon will be Pearson. So okay, it's
getting a little weird.
No. It started off as I didn't want to be one of those families, and then we just got too deep, and now we're one of those families where it's we can't.
No, but if you have Steve. The one other kid, it's like, well, whose father were you?
Go, Larry.
Anyway, so tell us a bit about your... I was caught up in the moment. It was a good discussion.
It was a good moment.
Yeah, definitely. You didn't need to do that, Tim. But anyway, you had some experience years ago. Jack got you somehow or other involved in DeMolay. Why don't you tell us about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So I was involved with a chapter that existed many, many years ago in Lancaster. It was our Lancaster DeMolay chapter. We reopened in 2008, 2009. In for a couple of years till I graduated high school. We ended up reopening the chapter called Lancaster Phoenix. Rising from the Ashes was kind of our big go-to about reestablishing a chapter there. At that point, I was 13 or 14 coming in. Got a really nice start experience to it. Was able to do... what's the weekend for the Worshipful Master up there?
Keyman.
Not Keyman.
Not Keyman.
They do if you bring in a new member, you get to go, and it's a whole weekend up there. It's really phenomenal, and that was my introduction to it. So I had a friend that brought me through. But it was a great experience. It was a little different. I know from history and just what DeMolay was and currently is. I didn't feel like I fit the mold per se to someone that would succeed in that type of organization. I know from previous stuff that it was more or less for children in different type of family situations where they could have a core group to come to. And growing up, I had that core group within my family. I had a dad who I called dad, not that anything is wrong with that in that organization, but a mom that I called mom. So it was sometimes a little uncomfortable giving someone else that title. In that way. And after a couple of years, if I actually remember correctly, our father at the time got into a car accident.
Yeah.
Really, really banged up. So
meetings
got pushed and meetings got pushed and meetings got pushed until there were no more meetings. Yeah. It wasn't in a set we're closing the chapter. It just kind of drifted off.
Kind of happened.
Just kind of happened.
Literally dissolved. I mean, you could see it. And the relationships, I don't have many that still exist with the guys. I think at that time I was pretty young, and they were all. The age gap between 13 and 16 is pretty big. Not in numbers wise, but development and where they want to be and who they want to hang out with. So I kind of had a little bit of kickback with that with my group, but I thought they were all good guys. It didn't seem like anybody was ill-willed or wanted anything bad to happen in the world, but just I think faded away would be a great answer for what happened. And so I'm going to jump on Larry's interview and ask the question.
You're supposed to.
So that kind of rolls into the Masonic fraternity, and I know that you and I have talked about it, and your position on it was very clear, and absolutely respect it. And so tell the world what you told me, because it matters.
It holds up to now too. As much as I've seen what my dad can contribute to this organization and what he's able to get out of it is fantastic. I don't think I have the time to dedicate to being a Mason to get out what I see my dad get. Now I know that not everybody will always have the same experience, and that's fantastic. That's why there's different variations of involvement. But if there's something I want to be involved in, I would want to be involved in it. Mm-hmm. I've met enough guys that have, gone to 2 meetings, got their degree, and that was that.
It's actually 3, but
3. Sorry, I like to see. There we go.
Shh, it's a secret. Wait, no. Shh.
But they go to however many meetings they would want to go to, and then then they drop off, right?
Right. You're thinking about the Elks. That's
right. They got their experience, and they weren't able to come to this meeting. And how I dissolved from DeMolay,
totally
fades out and is no longer a priority for you. And I don't think that this is something that shouldn't be a priority.
So it's not something that you've closed the door to down the road. It's just in your current situation,
Absolutely
just something.
not. Yeah,
and I think that's great. Actually, I think
it's excellent to recognize that.
Absolutely,
It's not.
I would much rather have folks recognize that than to commit to something that they then realize, I can't do this because and you're in as you described your family situation a minute ago. You're
up and coming.
You're very young. You got a young wife. You've got a young child. You've got another one on the way. You've got a great background in your dad to give you that distant view of what this is about, and
I see that. I see the passion that it's given my dad in the last handful of years, where I've been able to understand what it actually is. Now, growing up, it was just like, all right, Dad's gone every Tuesday. Cool. Mm-hmm. But now it's understanding what he's doing on those Tuesdays and the level of involvement, and I don't know. It makes him happy that I can see that he's passionate about something.
Yeah. So what's it like growing up being Jack Harley's son?
Oh man! You want me to interview him, and you take the stuff away.
Are we sure?
Yeah, I don't know if I'm at liberty to discuss that.
Do it. Hey, Jack, there's somebody knocking at the door.
Wait, I got a bathroom thing.
No, there's. Again, I'm realizing that I'm more like my father than I ever thought I was.
See, I didn't realize that till I was like 40.
Yeah.
So.
I'll show you guys a picture. I used the filter earlier today, and it's looking in a mirror 50 years from now. It's scary.
Oh, that's hilarious.
What's it like growing up as Jack Harley's son? Oh, man. Probably at the younger ages.
You are welcome to be completely free because
this is a safe space.
Safe space, exactly.
No, I would.
You can come to my house to eat turkey if you want to.
If he kicks you out, we got you covered.
I would say. I mean, I also am fully aware I was not the easiest child to parent by any means.
What?
No, I just know what I was like looking back on it. So I have to take that into consideration.
Right.
But no, it was.
Word.
We had a good relationship.
Yes,
I don't think that there was anything that really divided us, and if it would have at some point, it was something that you also experienced, which made us closer. In a lot of ways, to have that relationship with your dad and some commonalities that aren't really normal in a household are cool.
Well, that can be perceived really weird.
However anybody wants to take it, absolutely. But no,
Jack, what exactly were you doing?
I was just letting him be himself. I mean, I mean, there was no stopping that from happening. No. It's all right. No, I mean, Parker was a very strong-willed kid, and that strength has been amazing to me. We've been in tough places, and his strength of will has inspired me to help me get through it. And I'm supposed to be, all done up to help him get through it. But it's worked both ways, I think.
There were moments, I'm sure, where it was, Homer Simpson strangling Bart and just like, what are you doing? We still have.
I remember just like him.
Really?
I remember that day.
Yeah. But no, there's moments and situations like that, and just like with every dad relationship, right? Yeah,
absolutely. Go ahead, Josh or Matt, whoever you are.
Now you sound like Grandpap Eric. Going through the names of their kids here. I can attest to what he's saying about growing up, and my mom's going to actually listen to this because she listened to the last one I was on. So, so I wanted to make a comment towards her. And she because one day I'm complaining about the kids back talking me and stuff. She started laughing. She goes, "Are you kidding right now?" She goes, "You did exactly the same thing, even worse." So please don't tell me about how the kids are back talking you. And they had to laugh. That's why when you said about the Bart Simpson moment, that's why I had to laugh and say a comment.
Oh yeah,
that's great. Get into the little deeper into that, like teenage years where we're tough. We definitely went through a hard time, but there was always something, and I say this to everybody now, and I hate when I say it out loud, but it's something that's always stuck with me and was just finish. I'm sure, I don't know if you've ever heard him say that in here, but finish strong. You started something, finish it. And that was something I still remember and try to think about when I attempt to do something.
Is that
He's
a
aggravating. He still does
PTSD
that.
thing?
Oh,
or-
yeah, for sure.
Okay,
PTSD
great.
thing.
Okay,
Almost
good.
as bad as
Okay.
Suck It Up Buttercup.
Oh, I did not say that a lot. I didn't.
We've heard
a
that,
lot.
by the way.
Yeah, yeah.
Rub
Oh,
some
man.
dirt on it.
That is the
right.
man. There's something.
Okay.
Take you right back.
All right, Larry, you can get back in
Is
the
it
game
time for a
here.
break yet?
No.
But anyway, you're here with your family for Thanksgiving.
Absolutely.
What do you hope that will transpire for this weekend while you're here?
Oh, I just want my kid to play with his cousins. That's all I want. Just to have that happiness between those three is awesome. We already saw a little bit of it before coming down here. And my kid is just so docile where he just allows the things to happen.
Oh, he's very introspective, though.
Yeah, he sees the world, for
He's
sure.
looking, and you can see those wheels turning, man, because his cousins that are down love them to death. They are Tasmanian devils, both of them.
Yeah.
And they're just constant motion, constant agitation, and they're great because it's all positive energy. And your kid is just like, really? Mm-hmm. He's the best.
We have had zero complaints. I'm not going to knock on the table, but we've had zero complaints
There it is.
on anything in regards to that. Where I've heard horror stories from my friends that have a kid who's just 2 years old, year and a half, still not sleeping.
He's
through
wonderful.
The night. Okay, yikes.
No proud grandpa here, but
Yeah.
the kid's amazing.
Hey, we've seen your Facebook post.
It's like the McDonald's coffee club.
Right.
Yeah.
My grandkids are great.
Exactly.
Anyway, all right. Go ahead.
No,
No,
go ahead.
No, I'm
Nope.
done. I'm
After
done.
you?
No, I'm completely out of gas. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, I was just going to say, I think we've got at least news to come up. We saw Walter walking the halls earlier.
Well, yes.
We might have another commercial. I don't know. Is this, are we going to hear from Dutchy Doug?
That already happened.
That already happened. Okay, that was last break. Hope you enjoyed Dutchy. He's great. Doug's great.
That was hilarious, Doug. Thanks.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. And okay, so we're going to break and listen to Walter, and we'll come back and wrap up tonight's episode.
In Masonic news today, this reporter wishes to extend his sincere thanks. Social media giant Fake Nook, who has declared the Masonic Light podcast to be an international cyber threat. The spokesman for the show told news outlets around the world.
No comment.
That's the Masonic news. So mote it was.
Very timely, Brother Walter. For those of you who may have not received these notifications, apparently Walter was spot on. The Masonic Light podcast has been declared a cyber threat by Facebook. Not sure why.
We've had multiple episodes.
We've had
taken down.
multiple episodes taken down.
No. They haven't taken down the episodes.
All
They've
right.
taken down particular comments on the episodes.
People that have reposted our episodes.
Okay.
And comments that have been posted on other episodes. But those things have been taken down. And we're not quite sure why. We have clicked the little button that says, explain this to me, and we've not gotten anything yet. To be honest, I'm not expecting anything.
We haven't got a response from
Never will.
the cyborg? What?
Yeah, literally. We've gotten emails, and I've gotten phone calls and text messages from somebody going, what's going on over there? It's actually been kind of fun.
I can't
You
tell
guys
you.
haven't had Facebook jail yet?
Yeah, we've not been to put it in Facebook jail. Pete was a few times. But
Yeah.
Pete had so many identities on Facebook, it didn't matter. He still couldn't keep up with it all.
so
he'd get banned, and then all of a sudden, people in Lancaster would start going wild, and then the Gap
Or the-
Lighthouse would take off.
And
And,
the Doberman would show up.
Yeah,
the Dobermans
Doberman
would
had
show
a
up.
Facebook
Yeah.
page.
Anyway.
But anyway, yeah. So we as a group have not been in Facebook jail, but it's funny because our friends down at the Masonic Roundtable, Jason Richards texted me and said, "Everything okay up there?" And I'm like, I think so, because it was the same day I got the notification.
Oh, that's funny.
And anyway, so whatever it is, and
Yeah, it would be lovely if they would tell us what we're doing wrong. Or
found offensive.
And it may not even be us. If it was somebody who grabbed our episode and went to post it and made a comment on it or whatever. It's so many levels down the lane that, we
get so many Facebook Messenger comment thingies from people in remote areas of the world that are just, it's bizarre. We just usually ignore them and whatever. But, so it is what it is. Great, timely episode that actually happened a couple weeks ago, and we're glad that
we forgot to do it.
We forgot to do it
at the last episode.
Last episode, we couldn't remember what our news was supposed to be.
We had so much fun in that recording.
That
we just
really
didn't
was.
do it.
By the way, our last episode has been hitting like crazy in
huge.
some remote areas. I sent, PJ posted on his Facebook page that he wanted everybody to start a letter writing campaign to have him back on the show. And I told him, I said, well, the early numbers from Manitoba and Madagascar and a few other places are really, really high. And as long as those keep up, we'll have you back. But we'll have you back anytime he wants to be
Absolutely.
Here, so. Anyway, so let's find out what's coming up Masonically in the next couple of weeks. And this time I'm going to, Larry has this puzzled look on his face, so I'm going to look to Matt first.
There you go. So we have a couple of things coming up.
Wait, Matt just whipped open his calendar.
I love it.
Come on.
Yeah.
I love it.
Because last time I did this, I didn't do this last time. I got put on the spot.
Did we
here.
play Copious Stews with him?
Oh, you know
Yeah,
what?
you
We
guys
did
did.
play Copious Stews.
We did.
We should,
Okay.
You know what? Let's hit a timeout here. Let's do Copious Stews with Larry.
Me?
No. This is
You don't
going to
want
go.
to?
This is going to go long.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do it.
So we have ours because this will air probably before our stated meeting in December. So we have our elections coming up for the new Worshipful Master. And
Viva Fidel.
as I'll be heading out there and putting a little PM behind my name.
Yeah,
there,
buddy.
soon to be, and
Best office in the world.
yeah, there. So I get to sit on the sidelines and gripe just like with the rest of
It's
them.
hard. It's hard,
You
man.
didn't do it that way when you were.
I'm
master.
sorry.
Yeah,
It's hard.
It wasn't that way when I was master. So,
You know what? Go into your first meeting, say it, get it off the table.
that's what I'm going to do. So, when they ask you, have any of
Worshipful
the
Master.
have any of the past masters have anything to offer? Oh, yes, I will. Thank you. So now we have our stated meeting the second Thursday of the month. So, and then we're going to be doing our elections and stuff like that as well. And then coming up, what is it here? Look real quick here. December 17th, we have our group, the Squires, who are like the pre-DeMolay.
Mm-hmm.
We just started a chapter in Gettysburg that they just started here not too long ago, so they're working on their way. So they're doing a caroling for cans there. So
nice.
they'll be outside. We'll kind of carol and stuff and sing some Christmas things and collect canned goods.
Nice.
So that's December 17th, and it starts from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m.
Awesome.
So that's pretty much about it there.
Excellent.
Cool.
Finishing
Well
up
done.
and heading out.
Awesome. Josh, anything coming up besides trying to figure out what to do with this?
We got stated meeting coming up. I think we'll have
do.
that before next episode.
Officer installation.
Yeah.
Yep.
You going?
You going to be there?
Hopefully.
Okay.
All right. I'll see if I can come join you.
Does anybody know the work?
Yeah. Are we going to have to do the installation again?
Do you need us to drop by?
No.
No installation necessary.
Second year is PM.
Okay.
Repeat.
Oh, it's a repeat. Okay.
Okay.
All right. That was. I got to admit though. What? That was.
I don't know about. Well, yeah. Technically, it's 3 times overall, but not in a row.
It was an honor.
Yeah.
It was a huge
It was an honor. It was an absolute honor
All right.
to bring
Larry.
you into the fraternity.
We'll work on that.
Okay. I have Tall Cedars coming up next Tuesday, and Goose and Gridiron will be at Black Friday, and lodge
already
meeting
happened.
This sounds
first
very.
Tuesday in December. Installation of new officers and a couple other things going on there. That's pretty much it.
When is Grand Tall Night that you've invited us all to?
That's December 16th.
Yep. Before our next episode drops.
Yes, before our next episode. Okay, that is my last everything. Well,
yeah.
you'll still be involved in some form or other, but that is my last episode as Grand Tall Cedar after 2 years of
Get your name off
serving
the
on the thing,
accounts.
That's it.
So, yeah.
Jack.
What?
What do you got coming up Masonically?
My focus right now is on tickets to the annual grand banquet. I've been asked by the incoming, well, I guess he's the current deputy
Right
grandmaster.
Worshipful, soon-to-be
Right
grandmaster.
Worshipful, soon-to-be grandmaster.
There you go.
Put me on the committee for the keeping track of the tickets for the annual grand. So I just want to put out, since this will go out in time, there are tickets yet for the banquet. Tickets are $125. It's at the Lancaster Marriott Hotel, and Matt and I were joking about being there earlier in the show, but the Grand Lodge has booked the entire building for hotel rooms, so if you want to attend the annual grand and stay overnight, you do have to reach the Grand Secretary's office for the accommodations.
Yep.
I am responsible for the tickets, but if you want to stay overnight, the Grand Secretary's office handles the reservations for the hotel, and I'm not sure what the status is of those right now. But I do know that there had been several still available. There is also a special meeting of Shericasifia Lodge that day on the 27th, and there is going to be at 2 o'clock a procession from the Marriott across the square in Lancaster to Old Lodge 43, the original colonial lodge, which still is physically there, and they have it's just a beautiful, magnificent old building. So the Grandmaster will have his first public meeting as Grandmaster at a special meeting of a Shericasifia Lodge. And as far as I know, there may still be tokens available to get into that meeting. That's a very restricted meeting. There's only like 200 people or so are allowed to be in the building at any one moment. So,
and if one of our listeners were interested in going to that,
send me a message. Send it to Masonic Light Podcast at gmail.com, and I'll get it. Yeah, you want to act on that fairly quickly because it is a very limited number of people.
It could fill up quickly.
It didn't fill up as quickly as I expected it to because this building is just breathtaking.
Right.
As far as are you
on
that, Matt? Are you? So in Lancaster City, right diagonally across the square from the Marriott Hotel, is the old original colonial Masonic Lodge 43 that existed in the 1700s.
Yeah, I haven't been there.
And if you at the annual grand banquet at 2 o'clock, there's an opportunity to see it.
Okay.
And if you wanted to get into that, let me know, or actually let the Grand Secretary know, and you can get on that list.
Okay.
It's a really cool experience.
It's very,
if you've never
very
been in there.
unusual.
The building is breathtaking. For a small colonial lodge building, it's just
The artwork
really
on the
cool.
ceilings on the side is unbelievable.
Big vaulted ceiling with a mural on it. It's gorgeous. Yeah.
Parker, what's happening after Thanksgiving for you?
Oh,
After you wake up.
Yeah, when you wake up from your
it's not a nap with my eyes open. It's the dad move I'm working on.
There you go.
So 5-minute wake nap.
Yeah. Enjoy it while you
You're
can.
on the train. You're on the train.
Just rested my eyes.
Yeah. I'm awake. I'm up.
That's it.
No, I think this week is pretty light.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Maybe a couple of park trips and we'll go to the library.
Very cool. All right, so for me, on the 4th of December, Eureka West Shore Lodge number 302 will have its election and open installation of officers. We have a very special meal planned for the night.
Pot roast
From our stewards by request of our
Wanna
district
go.
deputy. You should come, Larry. You really should.
2 nights in a row.
Come as my guest. And then the next night I'll go with you to your lodge.
Oh, and then we can go to the prom.
Our lodge is Tuesday. Yours is what, Monday?
Monday.
Yours is Tuesday. Oh,
We're Monday, you're Tuesday.
okay.
On Saturday, December the 9th, is the Santa Stumble. If you are in the Lancaster, Pennsylvania area,
You should
come
do
out
this.
and support the Santa Stumble. This will be the first year post Pete, and we want to see that continue.
They're going strong. They
really are.
Yeah, they're
And,
looking. It's going to be fun.
You know, somebody tried to kind of steal their identity earlier this year, and I think they got ahead of that. And But plan to come to Lancaster on Saturday, December the 9th. It'll be a fun night. I'm planning to be there. Hope to see a bunch of you all down there.
Just driving through the town to see it is worth it.
Seriously, I mean,
it really is unreal.
If you're going to do that, though, stop at the square and drop Stephanie $20 and make a donation to the charity that they're doing. On December the 17th will be a production by the Valley of Harrisburg, the big Valley of Harrisburg, of a program called December's Rose. It's actually a play that they're doing for Christmas. It's been about 10 years ago since they've done this, and there will be 2 performances, one at 3 and one at 7. Tickets are available. You can go to the Valley website at valleyofharrisburg.org and get that. And then our next episode on Wednesday, we're going to record this on Wednesday, December the 13th.
Why is that important, Tim?
Because that is going to be our Festivus episode.
Huzzah! Festivus
for the rest of us.
Yes, we
And
are.
so Jack posted something on our Facebook page earlier today. And so here's kind of what I'm thinking, and we've not really talked about this much.
We're going to have an airing of grievances.
But we're going to have an airing of grievances.
Hell
We're going to talk about feats of strength. And then we're going to have a Festivus poll. I'm not sure what Larry's going to do on that. But anyway, here's what I would love to hear from you all. In terms of feats of strength, talk about the great things that you have observed in your either Blue Lodge or other Masonic body over the course of this 2023 year. Share that with us. Put it on our Facebook page. Send it to us at MasonicLightPodcast.com. I'm sorry. Yeah. MasonicLightPodcast@gmail.com. And we will share some of those on the air, and then we as hosts will share our own success stories that we've observed from some Masonic body or whatever during the course of the year. What we would also like to hear
This feels like homework, Tim.
It is. It is. Your airing of grievances.
They said there would be no math.
Larry always has grievances, and so he's going to have no trouble with
Oh,
this
my
part
God.
of the show.
What has that got to do with
We're going to have
feats of
to
strength?
mute him.
Well, it's the second part of it.
I
Did you
didn't
ever
know
watch? Did you ever watch the Seinfeld
No.
episode?
But feats of strength wasn't what you said. I mean, what were your...
It's positive.
Oh,
it's
my
good.
there's no positive in there.
Grr.
Anyway, so for airing of grievances, what are your
All right.
pet peeves that you want to address? Because I got a lot of problems with you people.
Perfect.
And then we will have the Festivus dinner that will occur. So anyway, that's coming up on December the 13th. Please get those to us. We would love to share some of those online with all of our listeners. And I think that's about it.
All right, let's go home.
All right. Josh, cue those chickens, let them out. And Larry, take us home.
Oh, gee.
That's your cue, Larry.
Hey, that's my cue. Hey.
Keep that in. Joe.
Special thanks to Everett Lodge 665. I said that to irritate Moyer for allowing us to continue to do our show. To Josh Lamberton, our producer-director, Jack Harley, our news director, Tim Dedman, our marketing director, and he's doing a fine job, by the way. To Michelle Snyder, Doug Maidenford, and Austin Schifrin, Masonic Light contributors. We thank you for all the work you've done in the past year. And to our listeners who always make doing this show worthwhile. This is Larry Merris, and thanks for listening. And remember, have fun, do good. Good night.
Good night, everybody.
That's fine.